legend of the...
Hi, I'm Gary Suckling.
And I'm Matt Poyner, and we're coming to you from the West Coast. This is a new little show that we're putting together just to show that we in the West can do exactly what happens on the East Coast and talk about cycling on a local and also European and international flavour.
And certainly haven't we got some news going on right now? We have Cameron Meyer badly hurt in the Giro d'Italia, Michael Matthews making amends for that and certainly doing well in pink. And it's all happening on the European scene right now.
It's all happening. It's Australia week on the Giro d'Italia at the moment. Orica Greenedge won the team's time trial. Sven Tuft on his birthday had the opportunity to wear the pink jersey. The following day, Michael Matthews, he went into pink and stayed there all week. He even won a stage in the pink jersey.
Has no ribbon.
Now, as they have a rest day, Cadel Evans is in the pink jersey. One of the questions that we might have to ask our audience on the YouTube channel, can Cadel hang on?
Of course, Cadel is now in his penultimate stage of bike riding. He should be able to continue. He knows what to do. He's won the Grand Tour, back with the Giro d'Italia in the hot seat. But I tell you what, there are threats. The climbers, they're all over him, and there's 2 weeks of racing.
You've got Rigoberto Urán, who rides for Quickstep, and also Quintana, who rides for Movistar. They are going to be the threats as the Giro continues all the way through this next 2 weeks. Can he out-time trial them and make sure he wins this tour? I think so. We'll have to wait and see. The Tour of California has been taking place. It ended this morning, and Sir Bradley Wiggins, is the man who was able to take that bike race out.
And as always, Bradley Wiggins steps up to the big occasions. There's been many critics and they say he's stayed away from the Giro, doesn't like the wet corners. Right now, he's the Tour of California victor, and he did it very, very well. Still time trialling brilliantly, talking about an hour record. This man does what he wants, when he wants to.
And how good is Bradley Wiggins? As Gary said, last year in the Giro d'Italia, he couldn't descend. It looked like he'd lost his mojo totally for bike racing. I think with Bradley Wiggins, he just decides what he wants to win, and he goes and chases that goal. This year, he's chasing the Tour of California. I think he's going to get to the Tour de France there to work for Chris Froome, but I think he's going to be in tip-top form just in case Chris has a bad day. But have a look for 2016. I think Bradley Wiggins wants to go out as the winningest British athlete in Olympic history, and I think we'll see him back on the track, possibly in the team's pursuit and in the individual time trial come Brazil.
Matt, I put a question to you. The situation between Bradley Wiggins and Chris Froome, it's been a contentious one. It's always in the public eye. There's nothing but conversation about it. The Tour de France is our next big bike race. Will Bradley Wiggins ride for Chris Froome?
It's the $1 million question, isn't it? Both men have won the Tour de France. They're both showing that they're on form this year. Now, when Wiggins won the Tour, it looked like Froome was letting the world know that he was the better climber. Then the following year, Wiggins couldn't even bring himself to go to the Tour de France to do the job for Froome. They've been using Richie Porte. However, this year, they were going to use Richie Porte at the Giro d'Italia. Porte's not there. So now you've got Wiggins, Froome, Richie Porte, all heading off to the Tour de France. What's going to happen? I think what's going to happen is there's going to be 3 sky riders going as hard as they possibly can up the first climb in the Tour de France to find out who's really got the legs.
The best man on the day perhaps will be the man they ride for. One thing's for sure, once they establish a leadership, with this Team Sky being as strong as they are, I feel that absolutely they will. It's a matter of who it is.
The West Australian cycle sport scene is underway for the road season, and Gary, you were recently down at the Lowry Memorial.
Yeah, and look, what a wonderful weekend we had in Collie. I think it was one of the best races I've seen in a long time.
Of course, we had Emily McRedmond, the National Under-19 Road Champion, win the women's A-grade event.
That young lady's a star. She was racing with the B-grade men, followed them right the way through and did what was required to win the ladies. Very, very clever, very talented.
And of course, that was on the Saturday afternoon. Then we rolled into the Lowry Classic. You have to be a good bike rider to win the Lowry once in your career, don't you? Of course, Jackson Morby, of course, former under-17 National Road Champion. He top 10 as an under-19. He made his debut last year on the National Road Series. Found it a little bit tough in 1 or 2 races, especially the Tour of Tasmania, was a bit unlucky. But this year, he seems to be over any crashes, over any illness, and he seems to be bouncing back nicely.
This young man shows class. He's like a new Ed Hollands, if I could describe him that way. He's clever, he positions well, gets in breaks with people he can beat in sprints, and he did that on the day.
But in the ladies' race, good numbers in the ladies' race, Same result though. Emily McRedmond, as you've said, she's an absolute star, represents the Arbitrage racing team, and big things to come for this kid. I think she's going to be part of the World Cup track endurance squad, the same as Alyssa Wondersits has moving into the summer months, but the sky's the limit for Emily McRedmond. So of course that was the Lowry Memorial. This weekend we got the first round of the Pickering Brook Road Race Series run by the Midland Cycling Club. Time trial and road race format, something to look forward to for all of our West Australian cyclists out there. Now, if you're not a road cyclist, if you're not a track cyclist and you want to get on to this show, BMX, mountain biking, we'll talk to about everything and we'll talk about the lot. A big thank you to all the boys down here at Riders Choice for letting us use their shop to film here today. If you'd like to ask Gary and myself a question about the show or put something on the show, just go to kristenpetrovich@gmail.com and we'll try to answer your question. Just be careful of what the content is.
Absolutely, we're going to be back with a lot more West Australian cycling news and more from the European scene to go with that.